a ferry. The hunting slaughter looks like this slaughterhouse. It's not a relief. They are decent artists. He takes a bath on the street, turning right and pouring water through the speaker is a river when the wind blows. He can also occupy the contours of the posture. This statue isn't very eye-catching on this side of the road. In fact, this corrugated iron house is actually renovated from the general inspection. To put it mildly, the consistency inside is not lacking in anything. The door is a small kitchen, including a grill, a stove, etc. You can also open the ventilation door when cooking. There is a contract to make a cabinet again. The house knows how to communicate with the office and other rooms. Turn a beautiful sheet up. The sheet is placed under it. It is connected to the sewer system, so it can be used when going to the toilet. At night, when you go to bed, you can hide the photos of the Shenyang defense, which are as clear as they are. In addition to the necessities, he also likes to make himself a flower on the house. Climbing through the stinger on the side of the city, it can ruin the wind and sun on it. In addition to the fact that there is often the smell of corpses like real irons. Basically, this new house has no promises. The important thing is that Giddy built Fusqueta to buy house only costs about 5 years. Buying is earning. For those who are on the ladder, it is extremely reasonable. As for buying this special house, you can only consider buying Hin. In that the book of buying a house is all over the world. Buying a house in the main address is to buy a house in the shape of a dog. This is probably the most complete dog in the world. It is the highest, longest buying. Inside the set is the department. It is a playroom. Because the housekeeper couple loves dogs. So everything here is chambered according to their shape. Cookies, cars, wooden paintings. There are no exceptions for them. A car to buy a house like this is also very simple. I can only have a machine to support the river is to start, hat, ding, tweed, hat, ding, stone, covered with shovel and then the add up. I have to admit that the old man of the genus is really distributed in the water. What is still carried before the familiar history, even after that, is also the most dog-shaped house smell in the world, but the 8th place below is also not a good thing. It is the lowest house in the world. The country is at the top. The middle house uses up to 100 people to live like the above. From the hand to create a small artificial island, to settle and grow on it. Looking from above, this island is no more than an ordinary island, but under the island is the upper night, because in order to feel easy to go down to the lake, the middle house has entered a lot of beautiful trees on the island, and the female ice will be turned into a set of islands together, and the bottom is also the same as the usual one, but to be honest, just like that, it's not very supportive. When you live big, the whole island will use it to live. His previous island was knocked down by strong winds, so he had to build a farm on the coast for 2 years. In the center of the island, our family built a 3-hearted high-ranking center. The office, the plate room, the kitchen, the book room. There is only a gym room, a chicken training room and a fake. This is all the convenience. There is almost no need for vegetables to the outside. It is really a paradise for floating people. Good 7. Date. This is also another bricky music. Because it is all a sheet of wild and cold wishes. If you don't see it with your own eyes, surely there is no one who can afford to live in a hungry stomach. And this 100 long women is an apartment with 10 square meters. The price is very affordable. The rows of 1,000 man's balls are covered on the outside of the slab. I was afraid of you with my hands. And the performances must be like a changing mirror. The lips of the Strishek tiles have become one with the heavens. In addition to being far away from the city, after the pine does not appear, the lake seems to have no more cracks. It is a draft, living in a lot of exposed products. But more suspicious than that, it must be mentioned that the next house produced it. Because he also had a little Entworth that was also included in the bookshelf. It is the crocodile head and the main face of this house, made up of more than 100 ugly and colored variations. Naturally in extremely strange clothes. The next challenge is mainly the sugar cane. Hello, it doesn't matter if you go up, there is something that is not spent inside is very similar. There are even thorough medicines for employees. She is formed by sputtering bamboo shoots. There is a passage in the emptiness of earthways. Here is not the same as the beautiful architecture of a bridge at this time. It looks like an ordinary swimming tiger house. But in fact, everything here is out. The sky is out, the trees, the land, the stock tree of the water is fake. The fold of the stock tree is actually to be vacant and wait as much as possible. Because it is deep underground. The total performance is even more curious than a football field, surrounded by each drum. If you want to be a master in wartime, what's left? It is to bait pine with plain put sugar and phase and straight to the ground. He is not as curious as Trey. The entrance is also not very eye-catching. Passers-by can't think of it even if they give money. Behind the mediocre common houses, there is a grain set of solemn rates. By the way, you will see the smell of the narrowest house in the world. It is located under 2 residential blocks. The narrowest matha is only 712 centimeters. Even if you peel it long, you can't take care of it, and you can't even stick your hand. The hall is a form of the heart of the price of Taikin. The total performance is on for me fines. Want to go up and down to the point of having to fly and jump like crazy. However, it is dense enough inside that there is enough. The house is born, the water is still old. Yum is also yum yan. But now the poison is. So far this house is not yet been proved by mystery of instruction that the subordinate law can only be used as a basis for real people. If because of the narrow house the youngest contestant is the top, then the top lady is definitely the oldest contestant. Moreover, it is only necessary to spend 5 billion twinks. Then it will belong to you right away. This little ant is always called the shadow house. It only comes from the female body and the talisman in the human body. Onion is strum and strum. The ant side is a shape, a bud. Every bit here is in a circular shape. Even a window is no exception. The 2 of them were connected by force, including a swimming pool and 10 pounds of room. All the windows were covered with C-beams. The scenery is beautiful. Not only that, this place is also a beautiful fashion production. The main organizer of the fashion show at Hanglang Bang is extremely stylish. The people of Tufong secretly only have Nguyen Sia town like this. The smell of the second bus from the definition oven is enough to know which country is old. This is the smell of the flame nest that appeared before humans put poles on the surface of the moon. At that time, this kind of wish fully converged all the advances that were difficult to complete. His words do not engrave ordinary family members. And in addition to being made of half a tiny strum, just because there is no root soil, but the wood formed a special shape. The flight crew has been sold many times to destroy the ferry. At the time, the group of Vathu people. It is impossible to make a mistake in moving houses with such a strange shape. So let it flying crew house was destroyed by the shell of the wasteland. This is also a dangerous thing of the times. It is considered the ancestor of poisonous ants that are worthy of us from femininity and respect. I go back to my hair and wish for a hat belonging to the gourd printed on pedestal on my honest in the middle of this pond sop. Don't open your eyes too much, at this time we are talking about small. And while this platform is also Hun, the landlord Mr. Nguyen is a 2-year-old Thikar who looks fat. He used to associate with the smell profession for years. Should have a strong affection for the cod. Instead of renovating it into small, that he would rather retain the image of his head. So looking at it from the inside, this place is still close and the electric light is still usable. The short range of the songs is up to 1 person doing it all, with more than 1 small door and more than a few people who don't come out of the cave. Because there is already a toilet on the posts. So he only added lotus flowers. However, here is still not full of life trials, cold and lively. In fact, it is not difficult to realize that this is a house. I didn't stop sleeping, he slept on the sofa. Changing the lights in the house is a thing that makes you feel the same. Read all too, look at the 500 handbags. Have just passed through the POW lines. If it wasn't for the real marriage, I would have given up a long time ago. Sold out because of the racism of these posts. You have to stay in a rickshaw for 3 years and 5 years. Transportation alone costs a lot of money. But he did not repent. He even wanted to season another printing department to display. Now he is still saving money. For those who like to talk about crazy blood in their bodies. Hello, follow me, I'll send you to sea for a long time.